Hi, welcome back. Okay, in this problem, we're going to be doing Sam's toy chest. And in this problem, we're talking about cubic inches and volume and capacity. And I'll tell you how I know that this is dealing with volume just by looking at the words cubic inches. Sam's toy chest holds 840 cubic inches. If the length is 15 inches and the width is 8 inches, how tall is it? Okay, so we are given 2 dimensions and we are also given 840 cubic inches, which is our total volume for the toy chest. Now I went on ahead and I drew a visual of the toy chest. Now when you think about a toy box, some people just say toy box and not toy chest, but it's a rectangular prism, okay? And the reason I know it's a rectangular prism because the length is different from the width. You have a longer length and a shorter width. So what I did, it's not to scale, but it's pretty much double, almost double the length as it is wide. We're gonna figure out how tall it is. Okay, and I drew a little cube in the corner. A cube is a box with 6 square faces. When we talk about faces, we're talking about the surfaces of this cube. This is a face, the bottom is a face, the back of the cube, the top, and the sides. Okay, so we have 6 square faces in that one little cube, and all of the edges are congruent, because we know that with a square, it is a quadrilateral with 4 congruent sides. So if we have 6 square faces, that means we have 6 squares put together to make a cube, which is a 3-dimensional square, basically. Okay, so when we are told that we have cubic inches, cubic, keyword, root word in cubic is cube. That means that it's of a cube. So we have, imagine in your head, 840 of these cubic inches that could fill up this toy chest. Okay, it says Sam's toy chest holds 840 cubic inches. So if we were to fill this toy chest up with these blocks, it could fit 840 of these. Now, if we're just looking at the outside of this toy chest, the outside of this rectangular prism, we see that the length of the rectangular prism is 15 inches and it's 8 inches wide. They want to know, how tall is it? I want to answer that question. Okay. If we know our formulas, we are trying to find, we already have volume. We're dealing with volume and capacity. The formula for volume is length times width times height. I know you're familiar with that. So I like to write the formula and then we're going to go underneath it and fill in the information that we know. What we do know is that we've been given the volume. The volume is 840 cubic inches. I'm just going to write the number for now. Equals, we have been given a length, 15 inches or 8, doesn't matter, whatever floats your boat. We have been given a width, 8 inches. What we have not been given is a height. When we talk about how tall something is, we're talking about the height. We want to know the height. That's what we're trying to find out. So any unknown value, we're just going to use a letter. In this case, since we're talking about height, I'm going to go ahead and use the H in the formula. So volume, 840, equals length, 15 times width, 8 times height. Now, in order to figure out what the H is, the height is, I'm going to go ahead and solve what I do know. Always work with what you have to figure out what you don't have. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply 15 times 8 to see what else we can do from that point. Off to the side, I'm going to go ahead and do that multiplication. 15 times 8. 8 times 5 is 40. carry the 4. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12, 120. So now I'm gonna, underneath this boat, write what my answer was. It was 120 times the height. So basically what we found is the area of the base. Remember, area is how much the surface covers. So we found the area of the base. That's 120. Now what we need to do is figure out how tall it is. So we're given the volume. So we know that 120 times some number is going to give us 840. So whenever we're trying to find a missing number, we're going to do the inverse operation. Let's go ahead and do the inverse, or the opposite, of multiplication here. Let's take these two numbers and divide them. So let's do that off to the side. 840 divided by 120. Now, some would say that these two numbers are too large to divide in your head, but we're going to work with the base numbers. Now, I don't know if you remember me talking about partner zeros. We have a pair of zeros on each side of the division sign, so we could just cross those out. We don't need them. 84 divided by 12 equals 7. So 840 divided by 120 equals 7. If you're not comfortable doing this using mental math, you can always divide it using long division. 840 divided by 120. 120 cannot go into 8. 120 cannot go into 84. But 120 can go into 840. If we go off to the side, we can multiply. I know that 12 and 84 are related because they are in the same fact family, and the missing family member is the number 7, because I know that 7 times 12 is 84. But if you don't know that, just take 120, take your divisor, and just start multiplying it by different things on the side of your paper until you come close to 840. 7 times 0, 7 times 2 is 14, 7 times 1 plus 1 is 840. Your quotient is 7, because 7 times 120 is 840. When you subtract, you get no remainder. So now that we know that 840 divided by 120 equals 7, we have found our missing number. 120 times 7 equals 840. So now we can fill out our formula with all of the numbers. 840 equals the length, which is 15, times the width, which is 8, times the height, which we just figured out is 7. So how tall is it? 7 inches. If you're still unsure about that, just go ahead and multiply these three numbers together, and you should get 840. Always check your answer. If you're unsure, check it even if you are sure. All right, that's it for this problem. If you have any further questions, make sure that you look at this video twice if you need to, rewind whenever you need to, or comment a question or ask me through text, or just give me a call. Either way, it's perfectly fine with me. Until I see you again in the next video, have a good one. Make sure that you're actually, I want to add another thing, make sure that you're lining up whenever you're doing your formula. Make sure that you are doing it one step at a time, kind of like a step ladder. Okay, thank you. I'll see you in the next video.